Great, wonderful. Okay, good. And then I think actually, Jarell, I am going to go ahead and make you the co-host because I want to make sure that I let people in. I don't want people to be stuck in the waiting room. No, I think we should be good. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. All right, let's share that. Okay, wonderful. All right, great. Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. We're fortunate enough to have snow in the Chicago area. So it's really bright in here in my office. And I'm not using the camera that I'd like to because I couldn't figure out how to adjust the brightness. So I'm talking to you on the camera from my MacBook, which will work. But I didn't want to be too bright. I wanted you to be able to see me properly. But I'm looking out at a beautiful scene right now here in Chicago. It is in the Chicago area. It's snowing right now, and we're going to get a little bit more snow for at least a couple more hours. So anyway, but yeah, so welcome to day 3 of Connect. And this is another really good day, to talk about what you need to have in your career plan. Connect is a huge piece. It's the third key or third ingredient in my program. And again, I want to remind you, we have a wide variety of people that have signed up for this, that are attending live or watching the replay. And I want to make sure that, you reach out to each other. If you feel comfortable doing that in the Facebook group, please do that. And then also, you can put questions in the Facebook. If you have questions, you can also reply to any of the emails that we've been sending, because we're sending about 4 emails a day to remind you about the masterclass, because we want to make sure that you are participating. So there's a lot of things that you can take advantage of, but we just want to make sure that that you are taking advantage of those additional resources, and not just the workbook, just not these sessions. There's more to take advantage of. And then please share with us. I did review the questions that you answered in order to be in this masterclass. I reviewed them. But if you could also share, if you feel comfortable sharing either in the Facebook group or in the chat right now, what's the main thing that you want to get out of today's session? That would be great as well. All right, so today what we're going to be talking about is connection. This is so important when you are doing a job search or as part of your career plan. I have clients that I'm working with right now who are not actively looking, but we're building their career plan. And in fact, one of them specifically I'm thinking of is not going to be changing jobs, really wants to stay at her company, is committed to being there for the next 2 to 3 years. So in putting together a career plan, what's so important is connecting with the people, like looking at our current connections and making new connections and staying in touch with current connections, because she wants to do something different for what's next. So that's part of it. We've identified what it is that she wants to do. That's what's next. But then who else does she need to connect with to help her to get there? That's why connection is so important. And then, and I'm going to elaborate further. So I do have this note here on my slide, even though we're talking about this on day 3, and I have this as a separate step in my program, or key in my program, ingredient, whatever you want to call it. It's helpful to do it when you're in the reflection phase too. And let me explain that. Let's look at all the people that were impacted last week with all the layoffs that occurred at Google, at Microsoft. And I'm actually going to be going live on LinkedIn later today to talk about it shortly after this. And I think a good thing to do is to pause, to reflect. And that's why that's the first key. But when you're reflecting, I think it's good to talk with other people, to connect with them, and to see what their thoughts are, what feedback, especially the people that have worked with you and your old bosses. What can they tell you about the work that you've done and potential opportunities for you? And maybe they saw some things in you that you haven't seen. That's something to keep in mind as well. So to get that other perspective, because remember, you are in the middle of the picture frame. You can't expect yourself to be all knowing and see everything regarding you and your career. All right. So that's why connecting with others is so important. I love this quote too from Brene Brown, because to me, this is really what connection is all about. And it's the energy that exists between people when they feel seen and heard and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. And when you're in a great working environment, and you have good connections too, you have a good network that you're connected to, then this exists. You have this. So I think many of us have had those great work environments that we've been a part of, and then we've had the ones that are not so great. And this is something that this is the difference between the two. Okay. I want to make sure that I'm recording. I thought I did hit, yes, I am recording. Okay. Just wanted to, that's like my worst nightmare to forget to record. All right. Now I call the more common term that's used is networking. Okay. But to me, it's kind of a cold term. It makes me think of computers and hardware. Makes me think of computer networks. I really like to say connecting, because that's what it is. Connecting is the best way to describe it. And then I do want to recognize that we have extroverts out there and we have introverts, and sometimes we're a mix of both. When I was talking the other day about assessments, when you do participate in assessments, often they can tell you what your tendencies are, if you're more of an extrovert or an introvert or a blend of both. And for my introverts, if you're more of an introvert, I want you to get more comfortable with connection. I want you to stretch your comfort zone and really think of it in a more positive light. And you can do it very slowly. Think of it as dipping your toe in the water. If you don't know how to swim, you can do it slowly. It's not a problem. But at least you're doing it. At least you're taking some small action. So I have this slide for you to help you with connection. And then we have resources in the workbook to help you with this as well. And I was saying this yesterday, and I'm going to say it today. I want you to make connection a daily habit. And I'm only talking about 5 minutes to start. Okay. And then you can expand it as you need to. Okay. But we have all these great apps on our phones, and the LinkedIn app can really help you immensely to make it easier. Like before the pandemic, I was going into the city twice a week. I was commuting into the city to help a client of mine. So I would be on site. And so during my commuting time, I would use my LinkedIn app to stay connected with people. So I would do work too. It was great to be able to do work during the commute, because I was taking a bus in and out of the city. But yeah, it worked really well. So think about that. And then I did give the suggestion yesterday, if you have time in your day when you watch the news, maybe consider reducing that and using that extra time to work on your connections in LinkedIn. Okay. So connection is the biggest and most powerful action to take in executing your career plan and landing your next ideal role. And that's why I have this sheet here of personal connection goals. So we need to be able to measure, I think it was maybe Peter Drucker, who said, we manage what we measure, and we need to do the same thing with when we're doing a job search and with our career plan. So this is a way of measuring your connection activity. Okay. Now this is more for when you are doing a job search to help you, because I don't want anyone doing a job search to solely be relying on job postings that pop up on the internet. Think of that as one channel. You don't want to put all your eggs in that one channel. You want to be connecting with people and be more proactive in taking the lead. So this will help you with that by measuring your connection work that you're doing in your job search. Okay. And you get points for every little thing, every little step of the way. Okay. But if you are, again, not doing a job search, but you want to measure your connection activity, I would say just blocking out that time every day. When we block time out on our calendar, it is very powerful. So as long as you're doing that 5 minutes a day to start, that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. I want to make sure to. Okay. Oh, and I see a comment in the chat, so let me look at this too. Oh, and by the way, Jarrell, I did not make you the co-host because I've been able to watch people as they come. So I think I'm okay with that. Okay, so Dawn said, re-entering the workforce after 20 years and being over 50, my field is not viable any longer. And so learning how my skills translate into new avenues is important to identify a new career. It's the beginning of my plan. And I know I need a better LinkedIn and resume. Yeah, you do. And I think that's why taking the time out to do that first step of reflection and thinking about your strengths and how you can use your strengths in different areas, that will really help you too. Let's see. Okay. Oh, Jarrell. Okay, let me see. I'll make sure that people can get into, give me a second here, everyone, because I want to make sure that I'm letting everybody in. I'm not seeing anyone else in the waiting room, but why don't we just do this? If you don't mind me pausing for a second, because we don't want to keep people waiting. Let me do this. So this is going to turn my screen share off, but I'll put it back on. So Jarrell, let me do this. Jarrell, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to make you the host. But then Jarrell, you're going to have to give me the ability to share my screen. So that'll be important.
Sure.
Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to do this and then wait, let me. Okay, so now you are the host. Well, actually right now. Okay, so that way you can keep an eye out if anyone else is trying to get in. Oh, and it didn't for some reason. I'm always learning new things. I thought I was pretty well versed with Zoom, but yeah,
So,
my screen share is still on, so that's a good thing. Yes, Jarrell.
no worries.
All right, great. Yay, we don't have to redo that. All right, let's keep on moving then. Oh, and also too, I wanted to mention, anytime you're trying to start a new habit, just try to track it. So and it's an easy thing to do. Use the 30-day tracker that we have to help you with trying to establish that new habit. And you can use this for any habit, but I put this in here because to help you to build this LinkedIn connection habit. Okay. And that way, once you get through 21 days, it really should stick. I mean, yeah, you may miss a day here and there, but if you can get back to it, that's what really matters. So getting back to Dawn's comment in the chat. Thank you for sharing, Dawn. We appreciate that. Yeah, and I think a lot of people are in your situation. I mean, I've had a couple clients that are in that situation, that they've had a really good career in one industry, but they don't want to be in that industry anymore. They want to pivot and change. And yeah, we have to look at your transferable skills. And this is when connection is so important, because if you've got to broaden your network into other industries, and you're using your existing network to help you to do that. So it's almost like what popped into my head is, if you're trying to rescue someone who's like, in the swimming pool, like hanging onto all these people. So, and that helps you to extend and grab the person and help them. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Okay, so here is my LinkedIn checklist for you. LinkedIn, again, is the main thing that I want you to use in doing your connection work. But your profile needs to be optimized. This is really important, because you're doing this connection work and you're making new connections. When you accept a new connection from someone, what's the first thing that they do? They go to your profile. Of course, your profile is your landing page. So you want your profile to be in the best possible shape. You want it to communicate your brand. You want people to get you when they go to your profile page. Okay. So, I think people get easily overwhelmed by making updates to their profile page. And this is something that I love to do. One of the things that I love doing with my clients, because it's easy to do. I think it's easy when you're working with someone else. When it's you on your own trying to do it, it can take forever, because it's just you trying to figure it out. LinkedIn is a must for a successful search. And again, the profile is the landing page. So you can even, to get help immediately, ask some of your connections, ask them, what do they think of your profile page? Get their feedback. Now, you do need to consider, recruiters are looking for specific things. Hiring managers are looking for certain things. So you want your profile to be optimized to showcase your brand. So you're shining brightly so people get you, but also too, you need to keep in mind your target audience, and your target audience is like that next role that would be a great fit for you. Okay. And again, those people who who aren't looking, are happy in their current role. Well, what's next for you? You should have an idea of what's next for you. And wouldn't you want someone to connect, to reach out to you if there was a great opportunity for you? That's the beauty of LinkedIn. So your LinkedIn profile, the key elements to it are, I want you to have a current profile. Keep your profile current, and you should look at it at least on a quarterly basis, I would say, because a lot can happen in 3 months. At a bare minimum on an annual basis, but more so, I think that's not enough. I think you have to look at it on a quarterly basis, and it'll be easier then. It'll be easier to update it because you won't have all this stuff to add to it. A professional headshot is important. You want to, if your photo is over a year old, get a new headshot, because it represents you. Your photo is your brand. Current connections. Look at who are your current connections, because when I first joined LinkedIn years and years ago, my connections were very different from where they are now. And there could be, you may have people in your connections that you don't remember who they are. You haven't talked with them, you've lost touch with them. And you want to clean it up because it impacts the algorithm. You want your connections to be good connections. It's not about numbers. It's not about, it really isn't. It's more about quality versus quantity. Recommendations. Recommendations are another great way for people to learn about you. And And if you can provide recommendations to other people to help them, then you should be able to get recommendations for you as well. And then a banner photo. The banner photo, again, is a billboard, is a free billboard. You have to take advantage of this. This is probably my number one pet peeve. When I look at LinkedIn profiles, I don't see a banner photo, and it is free, and it will communicate your brand. Communicating your brand, the best way to do it is through pictures. They're powerful and they're simple, and they get the job done. So you can pick, have a picture in that banner photo that communicates your brand. And you can use Canva. Canva has excellent templates to help you with that. Your about section, I love reading the about section because that's your story. That's where I get to know you. And it shouldn't read like your resume. Resumes are necessary, but they are boring pieces of paper. They're one-dimensional. Your LinkedIn profile, I see it as multi-dimensional, because when I read it, and you're sharing your story with me, I'm learning more about you. And I feel when we first get on the phone, I know a little bit about you, and it's more of like a warm call. It's not a cold call. And warm calls make connection fun. They make connection easier versus cold calls. When you hear the term cold call, do you really want to do it? No, not so much. So your profile, like really putting some effort into it, helps them a lot to connect with you. And then, your current connections and your number of connections. So I wanted to stress, you don't have to have thousands and thousands of connections, but you want to have good quality of connections. That's important. Now, this is just an overview. So this is my one-on-one coaching program. This is the diagram that I put together because I really feel it's all about these three ingredients, or these three steps. So reflection is the foundation, is the base of the triangle. Well, it's not linear, we're like moving inside the triangle, and it's going. So it may seem linear, but it is not. And so reflection is the foundation, reflection is the base. And then from there, we go to plan. We put together a plan that we want to go after that next role, or we're planning on how we're going to develop into that next role. And then the third piece is connection, which we're talking about today. So yeah. Let's see. All right, let's go. I had to put this book in my presentation because number one, if you haven't read the book, you should read it. It's great. The movie is very good. I like the movie, but the book has so much more detail to it. Okay. And the reason I'm bringing up this book, I'm sharing this book with you, is it really shows the power of when people come together, right? And I want you to think about your career plan that way too. And that's why connection is so important, because one person, you can do a lot. Okay. You can be invaluable to others. You can do a lot. But then when you come together with other people, 3 or 4 individuals, a group of individuals coming together can make things happen. And that can happen in your career plan. Like when people have landed in roles, often they're like, so-and-so helped me with this, and this person helped me with this. It's not really all you. You are getting help from other people. So that's why the connection is so powerful. So in Seabiscuit, it was the horse, the jockey, the trainer, and the owner. And by themselves, they were all kind of misfits. They were really not so hot. They all had their struggles. But when they came together, it was magical. And I think about that with the Chicago Bulls. Oops, we got the Parker. Let me close the door for a second. Sorry. I should have closed the door and I forgot to, but anyway, check out this book. And oh, yes, I was going to say about the Chicago Bulls. Of course, Michael Jordan was amazing on his own, but I mean, combining him with Dennis Rodman and BJ Armstrong and Steve Kerr and Scottie Pippen. Oh my gosh, what a wonderful team. And we see examples of this in our lives constantly. So don't forget, if you ever think about, I don't want to do my connection work, especially the introverts out there. I really don't feel like it today. Just do 5 minutes. Everybody has 5 minutes. So that's my plea to you, to take 5 minutes to reach out to that person that you haven't talked with in a while. All right. And then again, we manage what we measure. So don't forget about doing this, because this is important. It's really important. Use these worksheets because I'm trying to make it as easy for you as possible. Okay, so that's really important. And then, oh, I think I might see something new in the chat. So I want to make sure. Oh, great. Awesome. Is it better to have your profile pitch general, author, educator, facilitator, or very specific? That's a great question, Dawn. Thank you for asking that. So if you were doing a search right now, in your headline, in your LinkedIn profile at the top, that it's under your name is your headline. You should put the titles of jobs that you're interested in. So if you are looking for a CMO role, and you're currently a CMO, put that in there. Because that's searchable and that will make you come up in searches for those positions. Okay. But you want to do that. And then also too, you can have blocks, you can separate things with the up and down line. So that's when you do a Boolean search, that line is, well, on my MacBook, it's under the delete key. Okay. So, so if you don't want to have one continuous sentence or a couple sentences, it's good to use that for keywords. Okay. And if you do the Strengths Finder assessment, it's a nice thing to do, is to put your 5 strengths in there and have it separated by the lines. That's a good way to get to know you more. LinkedIn gives us a lot of room in that headline in our profile to put some good meaty stuff there. So, so yeah, so that's good. Let's see, let me just check. Jarrell is also checking on the Facebook groups for me, so that's good. Okay, awesome. Very good. Just wanted to make sure that I'm not falling behind on answering some questions here. Okay, so now let's go to, because I have some bonuses to tell you about. I love bonuses. So, and I'm doing more. So, so yeah, so for today's bonus, I'm very happy to, offer you this bonus to take advantage of. This is wonderful. So I love collaborating, and Sue Solari is an amazing coach in terms of, well, she's like a personal brand and image consultant. Okay. So I talk about brand a lot, so much. I want your brand to shine through. I want people to see you for who you are. And I don't want you to be anyone else. I want you to be you. Okay. And I wanted to offer you this bonus to help you and make sure that you're also dressing, representing your brand, that you're really showcasing yourself in the best possible way. I know that things have changed. We're not doing as many in-person things, which is great. I think it's facilitated. We're using Zoom a lot more for interviews and when we are doing a job search, or even when we're connecting people. It's so easy to hop on a Zoom, but still you want to feel good in your skin. You want to feel great. And I know when I put on clothes that I love, I feel so much better, and it really impacts how I'm acting, how I'm behaving. So I wanted to offer you this. Sue's is amazing, and you'll learn you'll learn so much just in one conversation with her. So, so anyway, this is the bonus because, and so it's kind of similar to yesterday's bonus. So when you schedule a free clarity call with me, you need to schedule it by midnight tonight. So you have until midnight to schedule it. And then it needs to occur, it needs to happen by midnight on January 30th. Okay. So, and let me explain something because I think there might have been a little bit of confusion and I don't want to be confused. I don't want to be confusing at all to you. So the best way that I can help you, the most powerful way that I can help you is by doing a career clarity call with you. Okay. I mean, I love this masterclass. This is wonderful, but it's in a group setting. Okay. And when I do a one-on-one career clarity call with you, I'm focused solely on you and what you're about. Okay. So you have my undivided attention. We're just talking about you. And I'm asking you questions. I have specific questions that I'm asking you to make an assessment. Okay. And to give you recommendations there in that call. Okay. So if we have not done a career clarity call, then we need to. Okay. Because again, it's the best possible way that I can help you. Okay. So yeah, so that's why, and I wanted to help you. I wanted to give you an extra boost, a bonus to take action. Okay. Because I don't want you just to, take in this content from the masterclass. I want you to take action. I want to reward you for taking action. So if you take the action of booking a free career clarity call with me, then you will get this bonus. You'll get this consult with Suze. Okay. So now some of you, I was telling you, we have a lot of different people in the audience that have that are signed up, over 50 people. And some of you are clients already. Some of you have done a career clarity call with me. So, so if you've done a career clarity call with me, I still want to offer this bonus to you too. And you will get it if you set up the Q&A call with me. Okay. Now the Q&A call is not for you if you haven't done a career clarity call with me. Okay. So, it's the career clarity call is if we've never had a one-on-one call, that's always the first call that we have. Okay. Because that way I'm totally focused on you, what you want, what you're about, what you need. We're doing that. The Q&A session is just to have, it's quicker, it's much shorter. Not that the career clarity call is long, it's about 30 minutes. The Q&A, since we already had, in order for the Q&A to happen, we have to have the career clarity call. So that had to be in the past somewhere. And so we're just touching base. We're seeing where things are at. Where's your career plan at? What's going on? Okay. And so yeah, so if you have done a career clarity call with me already, that's great. I still want to offer you this bonus. And you can get this bonus if you schedule a Q&A session with me by tonight, by midnight. That occurs by midnight on January 30th. Okay. So that's important. That's something for you to keep in mind as well. So I'm really excited about this bonus. And then let me just check my messages as well to make sure I'm not having any other questions here. I think I'm good with that. All right, let's see what we have in the chat too, because you may have any questions with that. Let's see. Let's just double check. No, I think I'm good. All right. And then there is another bonus as well. We're going to have, I will be back here tomorrow. Okay. It's, and this is to really kind of summarize all 3 days, because getting back to that triangle diagram, I'm going to go back here. The triangle. So we were focused on this and focused on this. And today we're focused on connect, but it's really, how do they all fit together? And what are the key things that you need to start doing? Like, there's a lot that I talked about, and I don't want you to be overwhelmed. So tomorrow I'm going to be, putting it all together for you in a recap. And also to giving you things like pulling out, like if there was only one thing, we need to simplify. If there's only one thing to do with reflection, what would it be? If there's only one thing, like what is the most important thing for you to start with your career plan now, if you don't have a career plan? And then number 3, what's the most important thing for you to start with the connection work now? Okay. So, and of course, if you have questions, I can answer your questions that you have. But yeah, so that's what the bonus will be for tomorrow. So again, 2 bonuses. Again, if you do the career clarity call, book that by midnight tonight, and you have it scheduled to occur by January 30th by midnight, then you will get this bonus of this amazing session with Sue Solari. And you'll learn so much. It's going to be amazing. And then if you've already done a clarity call with me, then you can book a Q&A session. So you can still try to get this bonus. And again, it's just to touch base and see what's going on with your career, what challenges you're encountering and where you're stuck. So, and then our second bonus is I'll be back here tomorrow, the same time, same Zoom link, and then again, putting it all together for you. And then tomorrow, I do have another new bonus that I've never offered before. And that's going to be, actually, I have 2 bonuses. So yeah, but one, I'm even more stoked about it. So I'm very excited about that. So anyway, so let me check the chat to see if there's any new questions at all. Okay. All right. That's a very good question. What we'll do is we will get the URL out for the style lab for the consultation with Sue's. We will get that out. I think we should be able to do it in this afternoon's email, so you have it. Okay. And if for some reason we're not, we can get it out tomorrow morning, but we want you to have it. So yeah, what you can do now is if you want to do it, you just have to book that Q&A session. So as long as we see you book the Q&A session, then we can share the URL with you. Okay. So yeah, so that's it. Any other questions at all? I'm going to go ahead and wrap up then. And then, yeah, so this is great. The dog is barking again, so that's a sign for me to wrap up the session. But I'll be back here tomorrow at the same time, and then we'll be in the Facebook group as well. And yeah, I just so appreciate you all being here, and I look forward to talking with you tomorrow. Take care. Bye now.
Bye, everyone.